Hello and welcome to the Build with Air workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and I'm here to build. I'm going to finish a model kit and start another one and hang out with you. Jolovivs, just subscribed here 2 months. Thank you so much. If you're currently a subscriber here, hanging out, throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat to thank Joel for that fantastic support. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, throw the subscribe there. We're waiting on a few more folks to join us. Lashbrook is here. Hey, Lashbrook. And then, folks, if you don't have, if you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. You don't have to throw in emotes. Jam is here. Hi, Jam. But it would benefit me if you became a subscriber, but you don't have to. If you just watch, that's great. Make sure you turn notifications on so you know when I go live. I didn't put my bandana on, and I want to because it might get hot in this room. So I'm going to do that. So hold on. But I don't know if it will. And then I'll put my headset back on, and we're good to go. How nice is that? Great, ready to do it. That is the convenience of just taking off a bandana and leaving it tied, is it fits back on your head. Anyway, what's going on tonight? Well, we got a Tallgeese 2. It's body complete. Its rocket boosters are done. What does it need? It needs a shield, and it needs a gun, and it needs some beam sabers. And we'll build those, and then we'll put them all together and show you what it looks like, and then we're going to move on to the other model kit we're building tonight, the RE100 Gun EZ. That's right. That is a mobile suit, the mass production mobile suit from Victory Gundam, a show I've never watched. I know very little about Victory Gundam, but I do know that it's one of the few RE100 kits that I haven't built, and it looks pretty neat. So we'll put that together. If you don't know RE100, I'll talk about it again once we get into building, but just for reference, it is the 1/100 scale. It is not a full master grade, but it is not a high grade. It's somewhere in between. It is a way to do kits that wouldn't get a master grade line, but the RE100 series is for those kits that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So they cut some corners. There's some high grade parts, there's some master grade parts. It's in between. It's kind of like the full mechanics line, but you don't have the skeleton. So similar. It is it's basically like a non-grade. It's a small line, not a lot of kits in this line, but this is one of the few I haven't built because I like the RE100s. So I'll be doing that, and that'll be fun. We're going to talk about some stuff I got anime to talk about in the next hour. A bunch of series to chat about, and if you say, Pat, is this because I remember on Thursdays you're kind of negative about some anime. I will be negative about one show, but I'll be positive about another. And there's a show I haven't talked to you about yet because I didn't know it existed, because it's definitely for kids because it comes out here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on a Thursday. So I didn't notice it last week, and this week I watched it, but it's a short series, 90 seconds long. So I'll watch that. And I'll talk to you about a very cute little series that maybe you need in your life. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing okay on this Thursday. I had a busy day, had a few things going on, trying to figure out a few other things as well. I say this, if you are able to do this, and you can do it safely, or as safe as possible, I'm going to get a flu shot tomorrow, and I recommend that y'all do that too. Now, I do not have health insurance right now because 2019/2020 has been a time. But what I do have is access to Costco because my folks are members there. And even though I am not a member, I can go with them on a Costco run, and I can go and get a flu shot that will be cheaper than if I went to CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens or any of those places. So if you can't get your flu shot, you should get a flu shot. I'm very excited to get one tomorrow and do my part. I haven't had the flu since I was in high school, but you never know. Also, the fact that I'm living with my folks right now, it is a health benefit to them as well. I'm going to drink a little water. So it's not just doesn't benefit me, it benefits them. And then also vote. Like, vote if you can. Vote absentee or by mail. or at a drop-off location that you have gone and done the research to find out that it is actually a proper drop-off location and not some sort of scam if you live in California. But yeah, vote. Yeah. Do your civic duty. Do be as safe as you can out there, folks. All the respect and love I can give you, and I hope that everything's gonna be okay. But sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna retweet our tweet, and let's get to building. I'll say this right up top. Sorry, I had a really fun time last night. I had a great time last night. It's on my YouTube. If you missed it, the VOD is here as well. I should say. Pokemon Emerald Randomizer run continues. It is we played the first time a while ago. This is the second stream of it. Got through two, count them, two gym leaders with no problem. Very happy about that. It was a fun stream, and yeah, it was a good time. A good time was had by me, and it seemed like chat was enjoying it. We named a couple Pokemon. We powered some Pokemon up. We might have to say goodbye to our friend John Candy, who is a Vapion, because that Pokemon doesn't learn water moves until level 16, and I think it's level like 11 or 12, and I'm like, do I have to power level this thing to 16 so it can do Water Gun? But when I think about it, eventually I'm going to need a Pokemon that knows Surf and Dive and Waterfall. Although, who knows if we're going to get that far in the game. But eventually, I do need a Pokemon that does that. So, I will need a Water type. So, I guess Vaporeon's going to stick around? I don't know. Anyway, look at this beautiful kit. Look at this real grade. This shiny blue kit. Look at it. Just look at it. It's this ridiculous headpiece on it. Cool backpack things. Very fun. Very neat. Very nice kit. This is a quality kit. We got to add stuff to it. So I got these snipped out just so that I could get my fingers moving, because that is an important step in the process. Just get my fingers going here. So put that on there. So that goes like that. Oh, this slides around. It's good to know. Did I do this right? I don't think I did. I didn't put it on right. I put it on wrong. But luckily, I can fix that. Hell yeah. Immediately made a mistake, but immediately caught it, so it doesn't matter. So over, not to advertise another stream that's currently happening now, but over on the Loading Ready Run streaming service, friend of the stream, Ian, is currently working on the cup noodle kit that I want to build, which I will build in the future, but I don't have right now. It is a 1-to-1 scale cup noodle based on the 70 design of a cup noodle, so it is a retro design as well. Now, I have that kit coming. I did pay for a pre-order, but Ian's brother lives in Japan, so Ian got it earlier than I can, which is, I'm not jealous. I mean, I'm going to build it anyway, but, so a discovery that was made, and I didn't know this, was in chatting in there a little bit about these kits, that it is 3 of 5 planned kits in this line that are Bandai making kits of other very popular Japanese brands. And so that is the vibe that's happening here, right? And I didn't know this, that it was part of this. I knew that one of these existed, but I didn't know it was part of it. But the other two, this is number 3, the 1 and 2 of it are a PlayStation 1 model kit and a Sega Saturn model kit. Now, I had seen photos of the Sega Saturn model kit and didn't know what it was from. It's from this. So Bandai made a Sega Saturn and a PlayStation 1 model kit in the same line as the cup noodle. And that rules. And I'm very happy to know that. I was just like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Now, if you're saying, Pat, are those available for pre-order? No. Are they available for just straight up purchase? Yes. Are they available on Amazon? Yes. Did I include them in my Amazon wish list? Yes. So when I plug that later, it will include me telling you that if you want, or I might, just myself, that something that could happen here is didn't know it was a series. Yes, Jam. I didn't know it was a series either until tonight. It's a series. There are more of them. And I am very interested in building, all of them. The very idea of all of those fills me with just like an intense need to build them. Because I've seen the pictures of the Saturn. The Saturn looked great, and I didn't know what it was from. I just seen some photos of the Saturn kit and didn't realize that there was a whole line. And I don't know what the other two are gonna be. I don't think they've announced them. Guess why the Saturn box said 205? Yeah, because it's 2 out of 5. And the cup noodle is 3 out of 5. But I don't know what 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 are. But if I do find out, I'll let you know. But yeah, I guess that's why, and for me, it's just like, okay, well, that's a thing I definitely want to get. Okay, so this goes like this. Sorry, I'm just figuring out how this gun has a bunch of, like, can do a bunch of different, has some mobility to it. Some slider action. So I'm just making sure that I'm doing this correctly. And then I need some more pieces out of this. So yeah, I'm very excited to cup noodle. I don't know when it's coming. It was purchased. Somebody gave me some gift cards to who I have to look up their name because I do forget it. Gave me a gift card with enough money on it to make that purchase of the cup noodle kit. And so I will be hopefully picking that up. Hopefully that'll be delivered, I should say, in the near future. And then I will build it on stream, as always. And then also, at some point soon, I am getting the also pre-ordered that is supposedly being delivered this month will be the Ultimate Gohan action figure model kit. And that will be radical. Very excited about that. Teen and older Gohan, I am a fan of, as many of y'all know. So it'll be nice to be able to build that kit. I also haven't done a Dragon Ball kit in a while. There's only a few left that I haven't built. I haven't built Brawly, and I haven't built Goku's dad. And so I do need to build those at some point. But those two and the Time Machine, I believe, are the only kits from the Dragon Ball line that I haven't built yet. I think that's it. And that Time Machine kit is very expensive. Oh no. Also, I haven't built Brawly. I haven't built Goku's dad. I haven't built the Time Machine, and I haven't built a Frieza in his pod thing. So that, yeah. Speaking of being excited, Lashbrook says, I'm officially going to be an owner of a Steel Battalion controller. Hell yeah, Lashbrook, that rules. When you're ready, when you feel comfortable, when everything's set up, please put some photos in the Discord. Would love to see that. That's awesome. When PAX was something you could go to, I always made a point at any PAX to find the Steel Battalion room and take a photo to just remind people that it exists and that you can just go and do that. That was my constant thing. It didn't feel like a PAX until I did that. And then I realized, what's the equivalent of a Steel Battalion room for PAX Unplugged? Because PAX Unplugged obviously doesn't have that. What's the equivalent? And then I figured out what it was. It is the TV, the CRT TV and VCR they bring into the board game, the old school like kids game board game room to set up VCR games. That's the equivalent because it's just a nonsense thing that you just shouldn't be there but is there and you come to expect it to be there. It took me a while to figure out that's what the equivalent is. And yeah, so congratulations, Lastbrook, on getting yourself a Steel Battalion controller. Use it well. Enjoy that wonderful nonsense that you have thrust upon your life. Okay, so we need 20. So that's 27, or that's 29. Wait, that's 28. 7. 29. Okay, so this is 29. This is going to be 28. Also, I bought an Xbox this year after all. It's just a tad older. Okay, nice. Hell yeah. That's cool. I like that. Alright, so we'll put that there. And then 25. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while I look at stuff that I'm like, that'd be nice to have. Like, I'm trying outside of things that continue what we're doing here, this whole operation. Like, I'm trying not to spend money because I would like to save money so that at a certain point I don't live in South Carolina anymore when I can start to rebuild the other parts of my life. So, saving money would be a great thing that is difficult right now. So, like, yeah, I'm not splurging on a bunch of nonsense. Like, even the purchase of Jackbox Party Pack 7, which came out today, and we will be playing next Wednesday. We will play next Wednesday that. Even that was like, well, I'm going to play it on stream a bunch, and I think I can definitely justify that purchase. But it was something where I was like, I'm going to think about this before I spend money on games. I also got a pre-order for Like a Dragon because it's a great looking Yakuza game that I want to play. So I went and I pre-ordered that. But that's probably the only big video game purchase I'm going to have this year because I'm not buying new consoles and I'm going to play what I have. Look for stuff on itch, get cool stuff here and there, enjoy what I can. All right, so we got most of this done. We got to build the top part here, which will involve a clear plastic piece, and this will also involve a sticker, which I believe is the last sticker from this kit that we need to put on here. So we'll get that on there. But yeah, outside of like equipment and model kits, I try very hard not to purchase things. I was hoping that in Amazon Prime, there were a couple things that were on my Prime Day. There were a couple things on my list that I was like, ooh, if I could get one of these, that would be good. And unfortunately, that did not happen. The things I was looking for did not magically appear at a reasonable price. The real thing I want, because my old one broke and I never bought a new one, is a electronic duster. It is the reverse vacuum. It is a air blowing machine, so you don't have to keep buying and then throwing away canned air canisters. I had one at work and loved it, and so so I used to for quite a long time. Just like if there'd be like 2 days in a row that I was working, I would just take it home and the next day use it at home for cleaning, and then take it back into work. And then when I no longer had my job and was working around a lot of different places, I bought my own. And I bought a cheap model that worked fine, but was cheap, and then it broke. And then it was like, well, I'm moving. I'm not going to get a new one. So I didn't get a new one. And I'm like, I could just buy canned air, but I'm going to keep buying canned air. Why don't I just get one? So I'm keeping my eyes peeled on them. They work very good. They work really well. And I'll just buy one that's a little better quality than what I had previously. And I think that'll work out just fine. But I need to get it. because I am overdue to cleaning the inside of this computer. So we'll see. Lastbrook says, I went to the retro game store looking for a couple of things for this and ended up getting a copy of Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but mostly it was just very weird doing something other than going to work and back. Lastbrook, yeah. Commerce is weird. Outside of like grocery stores and I went to CVS in August for a card, for a birthday card, and yeah, it's weird going into stores. I try so hard not to these days do that stuff. That it is a weird feeling to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to a place and do a thing. So yeah, my Costco trip tomorrow. I'm like, I've been to places. I went to Home Depot with my dad because he was buying rocks and various other things, like dad stuff, retired dad stuff, and he brought me along to help carry these things to the car because employees aren't going to help you with that, which is good, and they shouldn't. So I had to go along with that. But yeah, I've been trying to avoid going places and doing things, especially in South Carolina, where everything is basically open again, and it's up to businesses if they want to be doing anything. And most big chains are still going on like their own guidelines for the country, but if I just went into a restaurant, there are plenty of restaurants where you can just sit anywhere. No thanks. You ever go to a town you haven't been to in a while and you remark at all the things that have changed? I did a couple of times, except the city I'm currently living in. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, the like, oh, that's not there. Oh, that's open. Oh, that's takeout only. Oh, that looks like it's been closed since March. Weird. Okay, yeah, you're just kind of figuring all of that out. Uh, because yeah, it's just new to you. Okay, so this is going to go on here. Oh, it slides in. Fancy. This is a cool looking weapon. Okay, so we got some movement here. We got movement on this piece. Moves around. This slides up and down. This pulls back. And then this pulls forward. Lots of movement in this gun. Pretty dang cool. So we finished that, and now we'll move on to the shield. Oh yeah, also this goes in there because, oops, that doesn't go like that. Because this does sit on the shoulder. This slides. I forgot that slides. Some movement there. But yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about how different New York will be when I go back, just over time of like what's still there and what's changed and all that. Like it's gonna feel different, and that's gonna be weird. But I am excited, to figure all that part out. All right, let's build the shield here. One of our last things left to do is that part, and that finishes that up. And then we need, oh, lovely, such a lovely looking blue. This shiny, real grade, fantastic. But yeah, oh, I want to talk about this thing. I got something I want to talk about. What's going on with me on Monday? So we'll still have the gun EZ to be building, because we're not going to finish it tonight, obviously. So that's Saturday. That'll be most of Saturday. It'll probably spill over a little bit. But wherever we are on model kit building, we're going to take a pause on Monday. Because on Monday, it will be time for Pat Baer's pumpkin carving stream. That's right, the third annual Pat Baer pumpkin carving stream, which takes place. We pause whatever we're building so that I can carve a big old pumpkin. One year it was two small pumpkins because I waited too long and could not find a good sized pumpkin that was good for carving, and I carved two tiny pumpkins, and it was annoying because they were small and not meant for carving. And then last year I got a big old pumpkin, and this year I will be purchasing a pumpkin tomorrow of whatever size and whatever quality I can. But I will be purchasing a pumpkin, and then I will be coming in on Monday to to carve that pumpkin, and that'll be Monday's stream. So most of the stream will be that. If we finish up the pumpkin and we're done, we will we'll go back to whatever I'm working on or whatever kit I'm building. But yeah, the primary focus of Monday's stream will be pumpkin carving. I love carving pumpkins. I'm not great at it, but I have a good time with it. I enjoy it. It's nice to mix things up, do something a little different. And then also, a thing that I like to do with pumpkins is I like making goofy, silly friends. So we will be working on a goofy Gus pumpkin. This pumpkin will have will have a fun attitude and a fun face, and it'll be a good time to build, to carve, and then I will take that pumpkin out and put it in my front yard of the house here, and it will feel a little more like home for me to do that. So I am excited to do that stream. I originally was planning on doing it on the 31st because the 31st is a Saturday, so we were going to have a spooky, scary Halloween build stream where I carved a pumpkin, but that's literally Halloween, and I want to have the pumpkin like out and have people look at it as they like drive by in the neighborhood because it's a residential neighborhood, and I want it to exist out there. And if I make it on Halloween Saturday night, then it's just gonna go out the next day. So I'm not gonna do that. I don't know what we're gonna do that Saturday, if we're gonna do anything special. Years past on Halloween, if I've streamed on Halloween, I have worn a costume, and we've just done whatever. I think we did some Lego sets that kind of fit the theme before, which was fun. But I don't have costumes right now. I just have the clothes that I have here. So I'd have to really look around to see if I have anything. I wore my Jedi robe last time, and wouldn't be opposed to doing something similar, but black and orange only Lego build. Yeah, but as you may have guessed, I didn't pack or mail here costume pieces. That was not part of the plan, that I would bring a bunch of costumes to do stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do for Halloween, but I'd like to do something. So we'll see. We'll figure it all out. But I think it'll be fun to do something like that. And then, okay, so this is going to go here. This shield has spots to hold your beam sabers, which is classic, and I love that. I love that look, that purpose of doing that. So we can build our beam sabers now. There's our last pieces we need here, and then put them in place, and I'll show you what the beams look like. We've got two different beams, so I definitely know which one I want to have for the display photo at the end of this, but I'll show you both of them. But I know which one is going to go in there. So that's one, and then that's the end of this sheet there, and we'll get the other one going. But yeah, so that's my quote-unquote big announcement for Monday. Originally I had so I schedule tweets so I don't have to worry about it. But my scheduled tweet that was going to go out at 7 p.m., which didn't go out because Twitter was down or inaccessible or less accessible to everyone, I had like a retweet that was like, I've got a big announcement tonight about the future of Pat Baer's Build with Baer workshop. And I wrote that at like noon today. And then there was big news that features a friend of mine in a company that I have a big fan of and been lightly associated with in certain ways. And I was like, oh, I can't. This is going to sound like it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to carve a pumpkin on Monday. I got to make sure I don't send that out. So luckily I didn't send that one out because it would have seemed like it would have been a strange thing if I made a big announcement about something like that and made people even speculate that. And I don't think they necessarily would have, but I'm glad they didn't. I don't need that. All right, so we put this here. So this is how both would go. We're going to keep one together. But one thing I do want to show you is So basically, they turn out so you can grab them, which is just so that way you can, pull your arm out there when it's on your shoulder. And that's just neat. That's just cool and neat. So we'll do that back there. And then I'll show you what these sabers look like. So we've got clear here, which is pretty neat. The old clear saber. Zoom, zoom. Clear. And then the one we're going to leave on this. Oh, look at that. See-through pink. Look at that. Beautiful. Clear-ish pink. Boom, boom, boom. That's lovely. So that's going to be what we look at when we look at there. I should say, official Pat Baer statement is, if you haven't heard the news, Ms. Abby Russell from Giant Bomb has announced that she will not be continuing her contract and will be leaving her job there November 30th and will not be part of the transition that that company is going through. Which is sad. I'm sure folks, there are people who love seeing Abby there, myself included. Abby was somebody that was like, I realized we had a bunch of mutual friends, but I didn't know in New York because even though the New York comedy scene is small, it's still big enough that like she worked at the Magnet, I worked at UCB. I just didn't know her. But came to know of her through Giant Bomb and then realized, well, we had plenty of mutuals and lots of reasons for me to be very excited. Yeah, Christian, I am bummed too. I like having Abby's like opinions and thoughts, and also for Giant Bomb particularly, she plays games and both weekly and end of the year that kind of nobody else on the site checks out, which is great. It's great to have somebody who I don't know if I would have played Frog Detective 1 and 2. Frog Detective 1 and 2 certainly wouldn't have been on my Game of the Year lists had it not been for Abby talking about Frog Detective 1. I would have definitely never checked that out, or less likely. She's very funny. She's great. I was saying this. It's been one of the best things that happened to my panels at PAX was the inclusion of Abby. Abby going to PAX suddenly meant it that she could take part in panels and was looking to do comedy stuff, and so we collaborated on quite a few panels, and she was great in everything. Her invitation to have me be part of her and Jan's Giant Bomb basically variety show allowed me to be in a Giant Bomb panel, which I had only been in previously for planned bits that they didn't know about but knew that someone was going to do something. I was part of pranks and stunts, and this was the first time that I was ever really a part of that panel as a guest, which was very fun. She's rad and great, and I look forward to seeing whatever else she does. When comedy can happen again, I hope that her next thing allows her to do that, and I would hope that she'll be able to continue to perform and make cool shit. And but I am bummed that the site will be losing her because I think that her energy was like a great. She was just like a great hire and a great vibe, and of course the lovely thing of like, oh, her rapport and her working with Ben was like such a wonderful, unexpected thing. Like her energy with him and their work together was like such a pleasant surprise about how well that gelled. And it was like, oh, because like, yeah, Jeff and Ben, like I figured out that vibe from the intern days of like, yeah, Ben and Jeff will like work out pretty well. It's like makes a lot of sense, and like, and then Jan and Ben, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But Ben and Abby was like a combination that I didn't know was going to work as well as it did. And yeah, it is a shame, but I'm happy for her. And then also like, hey, going out now means it puts power in her hands, right? It means that she's not beholden to the whims of restructuring or budget freezes or salary caps or anything like that. Puts her in control of her future. And also, one, it is beautiful that she has been giving notice because her contemporaries before her, or those before her, have been like, today was my last day, or this Friday is my last day. She's like, hey, I'm leaving in a bunch of weeks, so fucking feel bad now. Like, I love that. And then also the fact that she is done right before Game of the Year is just chef's kiss. That she is just like, nope, I will not be here for Game of the Year. I will not go through that ever again. Good for her. Hell yeah. Fuck the people that are shitty about Game of the Year, with her in particular, and in general. But yeah, I mean, this year's Game of the Year is gonna be such a train wreck because they'll be online and the interruptions won't even be, because like with the grace of face to face, it's gonna be a nightmare. So good for her for not even being a part of that noise. Just avoid it altogether. Good on her. Alright, so this goes like this, and then this is going to go like this. Yeah, I think this is how it works. We're going to put the gun here on the, the holder. So they usually do Game of the Year at the end of November. Yeah, so basically directly after Thanksgiving, which is often late in the past couple of years, been late in the year, they like get together and start doing it. Now things can be different because they don't. Part of that was allowing them to travel all together to be in San Francisco and to do all that work and then edit all that stuff and then be off for the actual holidays, which theoretically it will be different. Obviously not theoretically, it will be different this year because they won't be traveling. But yeah, basically around Thanksgiving, she just doesn't have to spend the next couple of months dealing with new consoles and finishing up other console stuff, playing games that she didn't want to play but felt like she needed to play in order to have an understanding of why other people like those games, all that stuff that you don't have to do but you should do. Whereas somebody like me, I don't have to do that stuff because my top 10 is a guest top 10. If they ask me to do it this year, I don't know if they will, but my top 10 can be like Hearthstone. I don't think Abby could put Hearthstone on her list in her top 10. I could put Pokemon Go on my list because it's one of the games I played the most this year. I could put One Piece Bon Bon, a mobile game, on my top 10 list. I don't know if the other people have the freedom to do that. I certainly do because I'm just a guest here. Doesn't matter. Keep forgetting about that. Oh yeah, they're new consoles. Yeah, they're new consoles. I can't wait for them to be out so I don't have to hear about speeds and 120 hertz and does this do this or do that. Like, I understand that people are very focused on that and they are interested in that and that is something that they want to know more about, and I get that and I can respect it, but I also do not care at all and do not want to hear about it at all. It would be great if I didn't have to hear about it, but I will because people really care about that stuff. But as someone that has no plans of getting either console, I do not care one iota about what things do and what don't do. Now, I'm interested culturally on things like the confusion around the Miles Morales game because it does affect friends of mine that are going to play that game, and they're like, well, do I have to buy the Ultimate Edition? How do I get this? What does this mean? What, like, buying it on this and buying it like that this way or that way? Like, I care about that stuff because it affects my friends. But that's kind of the only part of it that matters to me, because I don't have any plans to purchase those systems So that's where I'm at with them. All right, so we got to put on our we got our gun on. Let's get our shoulders on, and then we will finish this kit up. Lovely storage of all your weapons and places to put them. And then we got to get the other shoulder mounted thing here done, and then we're ready to put this kit to bed, as they say. Excited to do that. But yeah, overall, very happy for Abby to just have like know what's going on, look towards the future, and I don't know, I got high hopes, but it was clearly she was looking to make a move into something else and is making that move, and I respect that very much. Um, and hopefully she finds something radical that she's super into. Okay, is there a side that goes in this? But yeah. Oops. Well, she's find something awesome. But yeah, very very happy for her, and yeah. Interesting to see what comes of what with anything that's happening. Of course, everything is just so wacky and weird right now. The whole world is a strange one. So I don't know how any of this works. Okay. And this goes like this. And then this goes like that. Yeah, we did it. This is this very convoluted shield connector thing, which we got to put on like this. And whoops. Okay. I gotta give me a second here. I gotta figure this out. Also, the head piece came off. Which gotta go back on here. Okay. So now let's look at this again. Make sure I did this right. So this goes like this. That's right. Yep, that's right. And this goes. Ah, I put it on wrong. There we go. That's how it goes. That goes like that. Yeah. Then that goes like that. Yeah. Okay. We are done with our kit. This is the Tallgeese 3 action figure model kit. This is the RG that I pre-ordered way back in April. It was released originally in 2018 in Japan, and then finally came out here in a limited release. This real grade, the fantastic look to it. This was a pleasure to build. Were there tricky parts? Yes. Was I unhappy with it in some moments of the build? You bet your ass I was. There were some parts of this that I was very unhappy. Did it end up looking fantastic by the end? Yes, yes, yes. So now I'm going to go and take a photo of this, and then we will start getting our Gundam EZ ready to go. Our Gun EZ, I should say. It's not a Gundam EZ. It's a Gun EZ. But yeah, let's get a photo going here. Camera out. Get some lighting going there. Yeah. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, even though there were moments of this kit that were frustrating, I highly recommend it. This is a fantastic kit, and I'm generally pleased with every part of it. So I'll take this off so that I can save it. Put this in here. So yeah, that's rad. That's a rad kit. All right, put this aside for a second, and we'll just get situated with our next kit here, which is this is the Gundam EZ, the Gun EZ, I should say. Keep saying the wrong thing. This is the Gun EZ. This was released in 2018. Again, this is one of the only RE100s that I have not purchased yet. And RE100s, this is a 1/100 scale. It's not quite a master grade, but it's not really a high grade either. It is somewhere between. There are, of course, stickers. There are some parts here that are going to probably feel hollow, and there's some parts that are nicely interconnected. We do, much like a high grade, have a lot of these PC connectors here, these plastic connectors. Look at them. There's a ton of these. And they're all very similar, which is another hallmark of this kind of kit. But, yeah, the EZ is a great-looking kit. It's got a beam shield. Y'all know I enjoy a beam shield. It's got a beam saber. It's got a big old gun that's got a mount on the shoulder. It's got a machine gun. Yeah, this gun shoots beams, which is great. I just like the very concept of that. But yeah, this is going to be a mass production unit. This is your grunt. This is the thing that's going to get blown up. The fact that it's got the beam shield, I love. I've always loved that design. It is going to be a small kit. This is 1/100 scale, but it's still going to be small because it is, in fact, a from Victory, which are smaller kits. I'm going to refresh. No, it came back. Okay. I thought I was going to have to refresh. My preview in my dashboard was stuck. But yeah, so this is going to be. There's going to be a lot of English in here because it's a modern kit. League, Militaire, Mass Production Type, Mobile Suit, LM11E02, Gun EZ. Yeah, the RE100, the Reborn 100, highly recommend these. The very first couple are a little dicey, but ooh, there's some good ones. There's a Zaku RE100 that's great. The Hama Hama is fantastic and nonsense and wonderful. There's some pretty dang cool RE100 kits out there. But yeah, we'll get started here. C1, 16, and 17. Yeah, but you're going to have a lot of good English instructions on this, and should be a nice build. We'll go for this for a little while. We will take a pause for the cause, where I will talk about ways you can support the channel, because that's a thing that happens here, and of course talk about some anime, things that I am frustrated with, things that I liked, etc., etc. Alright, I'm going to quickly just check this, see how we're doing there. Wow, that's a really weird thing to say. So, a thing that I understand, that I totally understand that you could do, is not like someone. But I don't know why you would tell me that. You know, I talked about Abby, and I've got somebody who will not get the attention by giving them a name, saying something about hiring based on merit. When you're hiring a video producer, you hire someone who's very good at video editing, which they did, and can talk. Just because they don't like the games you like doesn't mean they don't have merit. But I also don't. They also included another one of her friends, and I can't imagine that he hasn't already blocked this person, which I'm now also going to do because, yeah, well, they're not even following me, so maybe they wouldn't understand that, like, literally my first tweet was about her and saying that, you know, like, good luck to her. And then my second was, like, for me personally, like, my second tweet is about how awesome she is. So it's just like, that's a weird thing to reply. And then also to include a mutual friend, a friend of hers, a friend of mine in that tweet. And it's just like, oh, I'm sure you're already muted or blocked by that person. I don't know why that would happen. That was just weird. It was a weird little moment there, folks. Now, when you clicked on the... so, if you don't know, Abby's leaving. Mentions in her goodbye tweet, Giant Bomb, or in her, hey, this is confirmation, not goodbye, this is confirmation tweet. Mentions Giant Bomb, not adding Giant Bomb, just saying the words Giant Bomb. That caused it to go minorly viral in New York. It became a trending topic. because people were talking about it. But then people saw that and started talking about how the word giant bomb were trending. And that became a thing where it's a snowball effect where when there isn't context, certain things go viral, like the words giant bomb, because you end up with a lot of people going, why is this trending? What does this mean? Oh God, what's happening? I left Twitter for 10 minutes. What's going on? So a thing I like to do is tweet out why a trending topic is a trending topic if I know. And so, because what ends up happening is it becomes the most recent person talking about it because I'm talking about it. And then people who don't follow me see that when they're trying to figure out what giant bomb trending means. And so they see that I am typed that, and then they like that or they retweet it, and it becomes a popular tweet in that category. And for some reason, Abby's tweet isn't always what people see when they click on the tab, which it should. That should be the top thing because it started the trend of it. So Abby's tweet should be the thing people see and they go, okay, this person, this verified user is leaving this thing. So I just tweeted like, hey, if you're not a gamer, you might not know this. Obviously, not every gamer knows about Giant Bomb, but whatever. It was shorthand. It was mostly also for my friends. Hey, if you're wondering about this, Giant Bomb is a website. A person said they are leaving said website. That's why it's trending. And when I explain what those mean, when it's an instance where I know what a trending topic is, it's just the best engagement any of my tweets ever have, which is I try not to think about that part too much, where it's like, oh, well, yep, going to get a lot of likes and retweets and replies of my other actual favorite thing is when people reply with other people's usernames because something about Giant Bomb is somehow also related to them in a different context, or people being like, I thought this was about the bomb, or someone would be like, oh, people that do know me, like at least one person was like, the last time I saw Giant Bomb trending, it was because of Blinking White Guy. And I was like, yup. I have not had, and I was hoping that I would have somebody be like, oh, the girl that played Fortnite was St. Vincent, but nobody did that even jokingly. And I was like, I kind of wish that somebody had done that. But, yeah, that last person who just was like, now to get my agenda about Abby, I can finally tell you what I think of you, a person I don't follow, my opinion on Abby. And it's like, oh, okay. And then also tag her friend. I don't know why that happened. I should have replied, I can't imagine that he hasn't already blocked you. But I didn't do that. Yeah, that's just a weird thing. Like, if you saw the tag and, you saw people talking about it, I'm sure there are people who are like, aren't fans of hers, because there are people that aren't fans of hers, and I'm sure they had things to say because it's the internet. People have things to say, and you respect their rights to have their opinions as long as they're not malicious or hurtful, and in many ways instances they are. And get out of here. I got no time for it. Got no time for it. Didn't have time for it with Austin. Didn't have time for it with Patrick. Didn't have time for it with Ben. Because, they just hired their interns. Who's next? And it's like, no. And didn't have time for it with Jan. Because people were just like, does he play games? Like, people just assumed that. And you don't have to. You don't have to. You can play some things and not other things, because especially if you get hired as a video editor, the number one thing is, can you edit video and can you work in a live environment? When they had a studio, those are the things that you get hired to do. A knowledge base of games and an interest in playing them is certainly helpful, depending on what role you get hired for. But, goddamn, it's a lot of negativity and bullshit. And then also, that negativity and bullshit with this site and with every fucking website. It's not just Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb is the one we're happy to talk about right now. It happens with every website because, or any change that happens, people not only forget, they rewrite history. So, uh, they're like, because people will be like, oh, well, this never happened with so and so. Yes, it did. Oh, well, everybody loved that person. No, they didn't. Oh, well, that I don't know. It's not. It's not this. This isn't this thing. This doesn't happen. This is a special thing because people are tired of this. Like, no, it happens every time. Uh, you know, Patrick was changing the vibe. Uh, Drew came in, but Drew worked his way up. But Patrick was the fifth member and not worked his way up. And who's this guy? And what are you talking about? And oh, Harold is hosting this stream. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that. And he's the news guy. Who cares about that? And oh, he's doing a segment with anytime he's on a quick look, it means someone else doesn't get to do it. And he's doing, and I can't stay, trainer ran late, trivia ran late. Okay, Harold, no problem. Have a good night. Thank you for the hosting. Appreciate it. Um, but yeah, now people would have lots of stuff to say about Patrick of like, oh, well, if he's doing an endurance run, that means other people aren't doing it and all this stuff. And then like, it's just, and then eventually people look at it rose-tinted glasses and go, oh, Patrick was great because he broke all those news stories and he was always on the Bombcast and had, and was playing cool games. And he did that segment where we watched him get good at Spelunky and, oh, all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, no, there was lots of hate and he's going to ruin the site and it'll be over. Same thing with Austin, because he was another news person doing the news thing, and they didn't want that. People didn't want that, and he took games seriously, which and it wasn't fun anymore because of Austin. And it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. They all take video games very seriously. It's just he comes from an academic background, and he just sounds a little different than what you want, and he approaches some games differently. And he was also not here. He was also representing a lot of people, which he shouldn't have had to, but he was. So there were times where he did speak up on things. And in retrospect, he was right about all of them. And sorry. That South Park game we all forgot about was garbage. But apparently he shouldn't. He had an agenda for saying that. For saying that the game, because the TV show had a character with a derogatory name, it's okay for the video game to have that because it's based on the cartoon. As if that made it, but which was also, yeah. No. So anyway, long story short, it happens with everybody. Nobody, the number one advice that you give to somebody coming into that job in particular, but any job like that is be opinionated, but be ready for people to be very unhappy that you are opinionated, because that's what it is. Because it's just, if you've been around for a long time, it's okay to be really opinionated and put your foot down and go for it. But if you're new, you're talking over the other people they love, and you can't do that. That's my mini rant on that, and I apologize for mini ranting, but I think I got a little pissed off that someone thought it would be totally appropriate and cool to tell me good riddance. And it's just like, oh, yeah, get out of here. You just get out of here. Particularly with political stuff and them being more vocal and active, whereas, maybe 10 years ago when the site started, there were folks on that site that weren't vocal about those things, but they haven't changed at all. They've just become more comfortable when talking about that stuff and been in an environment where they feel more free to talk about the things they want to talk about. Uh, it's one of those things where you're just like, the site became political, and it's just like, y'all, Alex has been at the site for a long time, so like, it's not like, hey, Dirty, oh, Dirty wants to hit that gong. It's not like overnight the influx of new people suddenly changed them. And I'm gonna hit this gong. More willing to talk about it, certainly, but it's not like they suddenly changed and whatever. They just became, yeah, because they're a site that like suddenly, like, were more free to express themselves. But yeah, whatever. It got ruined. Blah blah blah. Patrick ruined it. Uh, Dan ruined it. Austin ruined it. Abby ruined it. Ben ruined it. Why does Ben have a show with Jeff? They can't do at the time. Why did Vinny move to New York? That ruined Giant Bomb. Alex and Patrick having a weekly show that ruined Giant Bomb. Guest articles on the site ruined Giant Bomb. Having guest top tens that aren't people they want ruined Giant Bomb. Everything ruined Giant Bomb. Still not sure about Austin even now, simply because I don't know if he agrees with my opinion that Dangan Into Free is the better intro song for Dragon's Dogma. Well, here's the thing, Dirty. We all can have our own favorite intro song for Dragon's Dogma. And if you and I disagree about what the if you and I disagree about what the best intro song is, as long as we both agree that Dragon's Dogma fucking rips and that the anime is bullshit, then I think everything's going to be fine. Hey, just so you know, I did watch a couple episodes of the animated Dragon's Dogma, and I will not be finishing the series because I don't need to. No thanks. It's a bummer because I don't think if you watch that show and like it, you'd be interested in checking out Dragon's Dogma. And I don't think if you like Dragon's Dogma and watched it, I think it would worsen your lovely feelings about that game if you then watched the cartoon. Intro Song Wars. Yeah, it's totally good. I totally dropped it in the middle of the 4th episode. And right you should, Dirty. I only got through 2. I didn't even give the customary 3 because it's not a show that I was talking about for the stream, like I will be talking about later, in which case I am watching a show that I am not happy with right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like, look, do I think it's weird as hell that show exists? Yes. I think it's cool and weird that show happened. Because of all the things to option, it's not a mobile game, so I don't know how it happened. As I said, there is an anime based on the South Korean mobile game King's Raid that currently has a 26-episode order, which is bonkers that a show that it's not even the story of the video game, because the video game is King's Raid is a mobile RPG. And it's not even the plot of the RPG. It's like a different story set in that universe, and they got 26 episodes to tell their original tale based on a mobile game from South Korea, and I don't know how that happens. That's because there'll be series that are like critically acclaimed manga, and it will take like 30 years for it to get 12 episodes, and then that's it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sometimes, look, hey, also, I'm not here to diss mobile games. I'm not here to diss video anime based on video games, because sometimes that could be very cool. Years ago, there was it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, a Tales game. There was an anime based on Tales. It was the original story, but it was like licensed, and it was like very good. It was very, very good. And so it happens. Anime based on video games or live action movies based on video games. So there's Street Fighter Zero is really good. So I'm going to say anime based on video games is better than live action movies based on video games. Because Street Fighter Zero rules, and the Darkstalkers cartoon is not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. Uh, the Persona 4 anime I think is very good, and the Golden creates new characters and adds to the world in ways that I think is pretty awesome. Uh, the episode that follows Nanako as she tries to figure out what's going on with her big brother and why he knows all these random people like a nurse and an old lady and two different young boys and a single or no a mother, a stepmom, and like why does he know all these random people? There's like an episode and a fox. What's going on? That episode where she becomes a detective to figure out what's going on with her brother is incredibly good. That anime is surprisingly great. Um, but yes, the Castlevania anime I think is solid. I would say this last season, yeah, I mean Big Bro has a lot on his plate as a high school student. Also, there's a weird character, the delivery girl gets added to that Golden, and I don't know why, and that's great. I think that's Golden where she gets added, but she gets added in, and it's an odd choice, but I like that choice. Anyway, he is the protagonist. You're right. It's just really fun to be like, what do other people think about this fucking dude? That's just a fun, like, you can't do that you could do that in the game, but you're probably not going to do that in the game. So it's cool for the anime to be like, what does Nanako think of all this? Let's figure that out. Anyway, we have to take a pause for the cause. Um, so what does that mean? If you're new to the stream, a pause for the cause is a momentary break in what's happening. I'm going to pause building. And I only do this once per stream, but I'm going to talk to y'all about what's going on with the channel. I'm going to plug a couple things. I'm going to talk about ways you can support. As always, you are under no obligation to do any of these things. You watching is great. If you want to chat, that's awesome. If you just want to hang out, totally okay. But if you'd like to contribute to help me continue to buy model kits and build them on stream 3 times a week, which is what I do here, plus a bonus stream every Wednesday, that is a thing you can do. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave the Lego Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know about the cool emotes. I've got 2 emotes for tier 1 and then a brand new or brand-ish new. It's been a little while since we made it, but the Scythe emote is for tier 3 subscribers and tier 2 subscribers as a way to say thank you. Here's an emote just for y'all, for like 4 people. But yeah, becoming a subscriber is a great way to support what I do here. Cash money monthly or Twitch Prime. If you have your Prime Gaming, because you have Amazon Prime, you link it, you get a token you can use every month. You could use that token on me if you wanted to. You could be like Cinerex and gift a sub. Gifting subs is a great way to support what I do here. Or Bits and Coins. You could join the Bits and Coins leaderboard with Dr. Jones and Harold, H-Bomb and friends. That's another way to support what I do here. None of that is necessary, but it is awesome. If you just want to hang out, you just want to hang out. But I'm going to talk about a couple ways you can support the channel if you want. Again, no obligation to do so. I have a Patreon if $5 a month is too rich for your blood, but $1 or $3 would be preferable. I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon, patreon.com/PatBaer. There are things you get, for doing that. It's listed there on the site, so that might be something that you'd be interested in doing. Again, no pressure. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to do that. Direct donations, one-time donations, if you want to do that. I have a fund set up for all of my building fund to buy model kits and equipment. And so you can donate directly to that, because everything I make on Patreon and Twitch, and eventually I'll get another YouTube payout. It's getting close to $100, so I might get a payout from YouTube at some point. Yeah, and then my coffee and PayPal and Streamlabs donation things all go to me buying model kits to keep building model kits. So that is a thing you can do if you're so interested in. Oh, I have an Amazon wish list. This kit right here, the Gun EZ, was bought off my Amazon wish list. If you want to buy something from my wish list, it jumps the queue. I have other things that I would like to build that I've purchased myself through funds, through funds here. But if you buy something on my wish list, it jumps the line, and I build it ahead of time. I've got inexpensive Lego sets on there. I've got pretty inexpensive high grades, more expensive high grades, master grades. I put in, they're available for purchase here, the PlayStation and Sega Saturn model kits that exist. They are Bandai model kits. I got the cup noodle. I've pre-ordered that. It hasn't arrived yet, but the earlier ones in this line, because there'll be a few, there is a PlayStation and a Sega Saturn model kit. I would build those on stream. I didn't even know, I just noticed the PlayStation one has a memory card, and that rules. They have controllers, and that's just cool. But yeah, I'd build that on stream. And as I said, I got other stuff on there. Bardock is on there. Build an action figure model kit. There's a bunch of different stuff in there. And if you build it, as I said, it comes to me, and I'll build it ahead of everything else. I'll put it in the front of the queue. Alternative to that is you could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. The aforementioned, previously mentioned cup noodle kit that I'll be building in the future, which is from the same line as those two video game systems. I got because someone got a gift card to USA Gundam Store and then sent me the code on Twitter as a DM, and I received that, and it was like, oh, it was like, hey, get that cup noodle thing, and I did, and that's coming in the mail at some point this month, and I'll build it. I'm very excited to do that. So that's another way to support the channel. I have a Discord. You could join my Discord. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, what's up, YouTube peoples? But yeah, on YouTube, you can find all this in the show description. All these links. And if you're watching this on VOD, go into the chat. But yeah, I have a Discord. You can join that. I post photos after every build. People post things they're working on. It's pretty chill. A couple quick video links. We'll get back to building really soon. Don't worry. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I did a video about some Halloween anime that you can watch that isn't spooky. Some of it is action-packed, but it's not horror-themed. And a couple of them are very light and just goofy fun. But I like to be able to tell people, like, hey, if you want to get in the Halloween spirit, but you don't feel like watching, if you don't want to watch an anime where a bunch of kids get sent to an altered dimension and most of them get murdered by ghosts who were murdered by somebody else, you don't have to watch that kind of stuff to be in the holiday spirit. And also, I have a video series called Baering the List, where I use Tier Maker to rank things. It's part of my one video a week project, where every Wednesday I put out a new video. Last year, I made some improvised characters. This year, I'm doing lists. Next year, I have a plan. I know what I'm going to do next year. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, Baering the List. This list that put up yesterday is about penguins. I rank penguins. And there's one in there that I'm particularly harsh about. It just was the feeling I had at the moment. But yeah, so yeah, that's fun, I think. And all right, I'm going to drink a little water. Now, on Monday, I forgot to go back. Hellsing is so good. Yeah, I think the Hellsing OVA is totally great to watch. It's an action show. It is disturbing in parts. It's certainly violent and gory. But also, you owe it to yourself to watch a vampire disassemble some Nazis. I think you owe it to yourself to do that. We're going to get back into building. I'm going to go to this because on Monday, or on Saturday, I should say, or Monday, yeah, I forgot to go back to this look right away. Indeed. But Hellsing, I think, is great. And Bloodbach Brigade, I actually don't do a great job of describing how fun and quirky and weird it is. I think I talk about how strange and beautifully animated Bloodbach Brigade is, but like, it is just weird and fun. It's a cool show. 2 seasons of it on Crunchyroll. Anyway, another thing that has to happen in this stream is I have to talk to you about anime that I've seen since the last stream we did, on Monday, and I have seen a few things, and I'm going to talk about them as we continue to build this Gun EZ. As someone who only ever saw the first DVD or two of the anime, eventually reading the Hellsing manga and sneering when that story went, seeing where that story went was a wild ride. Yeah, it goes places. And I'm like, I don't understand what just happened at the end of this. Okay. But it's still very cool. All right, so I'm going to talk about the anime that I've been watching. I'm going to try to be positive about places where I can be. But right now, a show that I very much enjoy, Black Clover, it's bad right now. This filler arc is terrible. It started off being like episodes that like were inconsequential and like one note and one-offs, and had like some good moments and some okay moments. But this arc, the Devil Banishers arc, is bad. It's actively bad. So we've always heard about the struggles where the nobles have magic ability and a lot of peasants don't have magical ability, or they have some but not enough. Asta's one of the first and only of a handful of magic knights who were peasants. It is very unlikely that happens, and so a lot of people were hurting. And then some bad stuff happened, and they didn't. No one came to help them, and they were powerless to help themselves. So they have a grudge. Now, whereas Asta was like, I don't begrudge the people that look down on me because this is the world where magic is the most important thing, so I get it. I just worked even harder. Well, they can't work even harder. These people, instead, they want revenge. It's hella weird how they treat non-magical people on that show. Well, it's the thing of like I understand the nobles. It's just like, if magic is everything. And I guess I'm trying to understand I understand where they're coming from. But this particular storyline is just like, it went from, oh, they need someone to blame, so they're blaming people that have been associated with the devil. And you're like, I can understand that. Oh, no, they actually worship the devil. And you're like, do they? Oh, no, they don't. They just decided that it's, instead of suffering or going to a place where they can be okay, they want to get the power to then get revenge on the people that were mean to them their whole lives. And you're like, oh, hey, what do you want me to... I don't know if you know what you want me to think about these people, other than the name Devil Banishers was terrible, and Devil Believers is terrible, and all of this is terrible. And the preview of the next episode makes me think that maybe that'll be the end of it because of who shows up in the preview. Also, I'm still waiting to find out that one of the characters is working with the spade, and this is to decentralize relations between like some of the Clover Kingdom people, and this is all a plot, and they just wiped away. Because the real thing is, the honest-to-God thing about this arc is, it doesn't matter. So, in the manga, there's a little bit that happens at the end of the elf storyline, and then it jumps to the Spade Kingdom storyline. And there was a jump. There's a time skip, because they need to be more powerful to go there, so they have to do this time skip. And it's a very shonen anime thing to do a time skip like this. And they were like, we are going to explore in this filler arc what happened during the time skip. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They can like set up stuff that otherwise would just be like, oh, I learned how to do this, and we can see how like Charmy studies this thing, and oh, this is how this person did that. And it's kind of been that. Like, a couple characters get more control over their powers and maybe like figure some stuff out, but mostly it's just been like, well, no, we can't just do a bunch of like filler episodes that are fun. We also need to like make sure that like it's really sad and a bummer. And it's just like, and we'll create a bunch of characters that it's okay for them to die because they're filler characters, because actually this story doesn't matter because the mangaka didn't include it, And when anime filler happens, it's very unlikely that the anime will continue to reference the filler material. It's more likely that they will just pretend it never happened because it doesn't come up in the manga, and they're cutting so much of the manga anyway in order to make the story flow the way they'd like it to flow, that it's less likely that filler ever shows up again. It has happened. That's not to say it doesn't happen, but it is rare for filler to continue. In a world where 99% of humans are magical in some way, it feels like they're shitting on handicapped people. Yeah, I mean, Christian, I think that's part of it is like, you know, the royals are wrong for neglecting them. The people are wrong for mistreating them. And I think part of that is trying to look at it that way. But at the end of the day, even if they're looking at it that way, these are still people that, and especially these banishers slash believers, did like deceive folks, kidnap folks. They murdered folks. So like, it's not like you can just say, well, you know, this is a tragic case of what happens when this thing happens. It's like, no, these people like are blinded by their own revenge, and they even say they're like, oh, I wish we could give up the revenge, you know, our sense of hate the way you have. I wish we could move past it, but we can't move past it. And it's just like, oh, well, fuck you then. Like, I don't know. I think I'm supposed to sympathize with these people. They've tried to, and when they were devil banishers, when they were so overcome with grief for the deaths that happened that weren't prevented, and were looking, and then the enemies got defeated, and sent away, and they were like, they didn't get closure. When that happened, I was like, oh, well, I can understand why they're desperate for closure. I can totally understand that. But then it turns out they don't want closure that way. They want the powers of the devil and the demons. It's not, it's just like, oh, well, then I don't care. Anyway, I have thought too much about this show. It is a show that I like, and I am saddened by the current state of affairs of it. I'm hoping that next episode is the last episode of this arc. Feel like we got at least 2 more, though. Every week I'm just like, oh, is it over? And it's not, and that's a bummer, but maybe it will be soon. Anyway, let's talk about a good show. A show that some weird shit happened in, and this is a show I thought about a lot, but I'm happy to think about it, because what the hell is happening here? Let's talk about Kuma Baer. And you're saying, so Pat, why did you just say Baer 4 times? World building is definitely janky. You're not wrong, Christian. So I said Kuma Baer. Kuma means bear. The Japanese for bear 3 times and then bear. That's the name of the show. It is an anime that rules, and you should watch it. It's on Funimation, and I highly recommend it. So Kuma Baer. The first episode is just a VR MMO about a girl who wears a bear costume and does a lot of cool shit, and she's known in the town, but outside the town, people don't know her. And it was like fun, and you got the sense of the world. It was basically Boofery. This is an overpowered main character in a cool costume that is cute costume, like doing stuff and making things happen, and you know, being a cool overpowered character named Yuna. So then we get to episode 2, and episode 2 takes place before episode 1. Now I knew that this show was an isekai. And I thought episode 1 was setting up, like, this is what the VR MMO looks like, and then she's going to get sucked into this world, and we're going to take it place after the fact. But that's not the case. This episode takes place before episode 1 in the storyline. All of this show, I guess, takes place as the isekai, and then at some point she breaks free of being trapped in this world, but then chooses to go back to it of her own accord, because that's what episode 1 is. So it means that she's like, it's just a weird thing to think about, that she's like, yep, I got trapped in this world that was kind of like the video game I used to play, and I survived, and then I was able to log out and go back to the real world, But then I went back again for unknown reasons, and I guess we'll find out why, but I thought that was weird. I still think that's weird. But it's still a cool show. So anyway, Yuna is in a different outfit. She has a different avatar than what we saw in the first episode, and she randomly chooses a prize, and it's the bear suit. And it's all bear-themed powers that she has with the bear suit. And then she wakes up in an area she's never been into before, and she can't log out, and she's level 1. And so now it is an isekai before the first level. So then she saves a girl named Fina, and she learns about the world from Fina. And Fina has a younger sister and a sick mom, and there's a guild. She's also getting messages from the game master who calls himself God, which is interesting. So an odd thing about this show, besides the fact that I was like, wait, episode 1 was like, everything is a prequel to episode 1, which is an odd choice, as I said. The other thing that's weird about this is that, like, it will tell you, this tells you exactly what kind of show this is going to be, what kind of isekai this is going to be. So in ReZero, it's like, oh God, what's happened? What's going on? What is this? Why am I in this world? What's up? In some isekai, like, I'm standing on 1,000,000 lives is like, what does this mean? What's happening? What's going on here? In Kuma Baer, she's like, this is reality, and I'm trapped here, and it's kind of a video game and kind of not a video game. Alright, I guess I'll make the best of it. Like, she fucking accepts her reality of being in a different world. I think not since, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of another show where the person readily accepted the reality that they're in another world. I guess in some ways, by the grace of the gods, the character is very accepting of what's happened to him, but that's also because he died and he's talking to gods. And he does think at first that it's a dream, so I guess in that respect I'm like, yeah, alright, I guess they accept it. Anyway, this show is weird and great. So she kills a bunch of wolves and finds out the class system is, you get money by disassembling them is what they call it, but it's really just, skinning the hides and all that. And she doesn't know how to do that, so she enters an agreement with Fina, the young girl, who she saved 2 times in one episode. She makes an agreement saying, hey, if you, we'll grab a partnership, that way you don't go in the woods to risk, because I know you want to help out your mom and make some money. I don't know how to do the thing you know how to do. Let's form a partnership. Also, there is a moment where there's 2 things in here I want to point out. One, when she gets to her job class, she goes, Kuma Baer? And writes down Baer in English as her job class, which is accepted. So that's the title of the show, comes from her wondering if she should say that her job class is Kuma, and then goes with the English Baer. So that's where the name comes from. Also, there's a moment where there's like, well, there's a quest to kill some tiger wolves, and she's like, great, I'll do that quest. And then there's like, she's like, but I have a very important question. And there's like a long beat, which is pretty good for an anime. And then she just goes, are these wolves or tigers? And they're like, we don't have that information. And then it turns out that they were indeed tigers. They're just tigers, but they classify them as tiger wolves because that's the class they want to go with as far as wolves go. And I think that is adorable, and I was really into it. Okay, so before we continue on, if we go by the manga, I think the first episode was out of order. Episode 1 is where the manga begins, and episode 1 is a few chapters into the manga. Okay, sturdy. That's good to know. So they just, in the anime, decided that they wanted you to get a feel for the world and then flash back to see what happens in it, instead of starting with the isekai, which is how most isekais start. In most isekais, you're in the fantasy world almost immediately, if not waking up in the fantasy world. So this one was just like, let's just explain what a VR MMO is and then have it put it in there. It's like if Overlord had an episode where he was like, that started with him like doing a bunch of shit. So I guess this is like after, because in the first episode, she takes the VR helmet off. And it seems like in episode 2, she can't do that. So at some point, she gets the ability to be able to go back to the real world. So that makes sense. Dirty, they just kind of changed it around. Anyway, I think that show is cute as hell and good. The outro is also fun. There are other girls we haven't met yet. And that's cool. Okay, so this is the weapons here. We got missiles that live in here in this box. And then this box has the saber, the beam saber part there. They flipped the script. Yeah, they flipped the script indeed, Dirty. It was kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to have an isekai where the first episode is like, basically made me think that it was boofery, which is cool. And like I said, I appreciate that. Oh, so we don't have to put the weapons boxes on here. I'm gonna do it because I think they look neat, and I think they help with the color scheme. But we could put, and I'll just pop these out. I'll show you what it looks like. We could put just these risers on here. Dirty, it's already Thursday. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, Noblesse. I don't have a lot to say about Noblesse. More vampires show up, and they learn about human strength. I guess that's the best thing I can say about it. I do like the supporting characters. I think the supporting characters are pretty great. Okay, so here's our alternative. We can have the weapons boost boxes, or just a thing. So we're gonna go with boxes because the boxes are better. That's Noblesse. I still think it was a mistake to not just redo the OVA as the first episode and instead just go right into it. I think they are doing themselves a disservice by making anyone who might tune in have to go track down the OVA and watch that, which is on Crunchyroll and you can get it. But I'm still saying I think it was a mistake. That's me. That's my opinion on it. I just think that it's, don't worry. They did a video explaining the OVA. Yes, I mean, they did a video that like, hey, this is what you need to know about what happened in the OVA. Yes, I'm saying, but Christian, I'm also saying for like Japanese viewers, did they make that and put that on TV? If you were just tuning into your television station to watch the show, do you know what happened to the OVA? So there's the OVA, and then on Crunchyroll's YouTube, you can watch Tim explain what happened in the OVA if you don't want to watch a 40-something minute thing. And I think both choices are not as good as just doing the first episode, the OVA, and breaking the OVA up into 2 episodes, which I think they should have done. But whatever. Anyway, I think it's pretty good. I'm digging it. It's not my favorite show this season, but I don't dislike it. Okay. So Adachi and Shimamura. Shout out to Tim. Shout outs to Tim, indeed. We love Tim. Does good work. Okay, so I might drop Adachi and Shimamura. Shimamura. I like it quite a bit, but it is slow as hell. This is a slow as hell Yuri slice of life comedy drama, and it is going to take its sweet ass time. It is a case study in these characters, which I appreciate, but I feel like I want to just like marathon this show at maybe like December, and just like have a time to really go through it and really sink my teeth into it and not watch it week to week. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to get my vibe set next week if I want to keep watching this or not. Because I don't know if it's for me right now and my vibe. And then anime KAPIBARASAN. And Capybara-san is not spelled how I know how to spell a capybara, which is Capybara. This is spelled Kaapibara san. And the name of the anime is anime, and then all capital letters, Capybara-san, with no dash. So I don't know what to make of that. They are 90-second episodes. It premiered last week, and I hadn't heard of it, did not hear of it at all, did not know it was coming out, because it comes out at 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday Eastern Time, which means that this is a show for kids, but it is about a capybara, and the animation is cutesy, and it's just about a capybara and its family doing things and just being pretty great. And in episode 2, he does get into an onsen, and that is awesome. And I will say this. I started watching episode 1 on the Crunchyroll site, and it timed out and didn't work. And I have not had that happen to me in any video on Crunchyroll at all. So I gave it some time and watched it later. Same thing. And then all the comments were like, how is this broken still? Why is this broken? This is 90 seconds. It shouldn't take me 10 minutes to watch a 90-second anime. So then I watched it on the iPad, and it worked fine. And that's never happened to me before. So while I am telling you that anime Capybarasan is cool and good, there are some technical issues happening right now that prevent me from immediately recommending it to you. I don't know why that's happening, but it is happening. So if you want a cute, short little series about a capybara, that's on Crunchyroll. But hopefully the technical difficulties for just this one show, I can only imagine it's because it airs later and there's issues, and I don't know. But I don't know. I'm getting more retweets of me explaining what's happening on trending topics. But yeah, so as far as shows that I'm not watching that I'm thinking about going and checking out again, the only one that I'm like, I might go back to this is the Trending Explainer, indeed. I might go back and watch Jujutsu Kaisen. It's tough because it's on, like, the Friday-Saturday block right now is just so many shows, and I've already dropped one. I've already dropped the romantic comedy one about the kids getting married that don't know each other. I was already like halfway through last week's episode. I was like, nah, I think I'm good. If this turns out to be brilliant, I'll go back to it. But it didn't really capture my attention. Once the first episode happened, and I was like, also incorrectly, it was being categorized by like Annie Chart as being sci-fi because his name is NASA, like NASA, but it's spelled, but like people joke, like that's a joke in the story, is that his name is NASA. So I was like, why is this show? How is this show sci-fi? Christian, which is the best anime of the season? Because I did, is it Kaizen? Because I'm now hearing very good things about Kaizen. I kind of bounced off of it, but now I'm hearing very good things about it. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. You've been championing the manga for so long. I'm over the moon with the reception. Yeah, I bounced off the first episode. There was something about, I was just kind of not in it for like nice guy. Like I know the show isn't Bleach. I know that it is its own thing. But I was just like, I don't know if I want to watch this. And then I kind of bounced off the first episode, but now I've been hearing very good things about it, and particularly about the adaptation. Dirty says, with a cat and a dog, every day is fun is the best anime of the season. That's a damn cute show, and I'm a big fan of it. what is my favorite show? I wonder if I have a favorite show of the season. But yeah, I'm going to probably try Kaizen again. Let's see. I'm going to need a third episode of Kuma Baer, but I think that's got a lot of promise. That's my favorite of the stuff I'm watching there. I'm Standing on a Million Lives is really interesting. I am digging that. Wandering Witch, I didn't. I give a lot more props to because I didn't realize that this show was going to have Yuri vibes, and it's got some heavy ass Yuri vibes. In the first episode has like really light towards the end, but it's like, oh, maybe that's not that. But the second episode is just like, damn, all right, good. The Day I Became a God, I'm probably going to drop. The first episode was interesting, but I don't know if it's going to be able to keep my attention. And then Sports Climbing Girls, I'm definitely bummed that, yes, you said that heavily inspired by Bleach. That makes a lot of sense, Christian. 90 seconds, you're in, you're out, you feel a little better for it. Yeah. The climbing anime. So here's the thing about the climbing anime. The climbing anime is definitely not the girls interested in a thing being cute about the thing. Well, Christian, I think it's ecchi because because some of the girls are creeps, and so that is it's the easiest way to tag it ecchi is because there's climbing butts. Well, the second episode does feature a real creepy spider lady with bunny ears. So that's my big takeaway of this show. Is that it is a sports anime. It is not. It may be categorized by some as a slice of life anime. It is not a slice of life. That is a sports anime because in episode 1 we meet a rival who is loud and angry and determined, but maybe will come around. But will push you further, and we get more of that in episode 2 of June, the rival. And episode 2 introduces people that don't want you to succeed. And anytime you get people that don't want you to succeed, that are actively trying to stop you from succeeding, you are definitely 100% in sports anime territory. So, and that, look, it's not wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that is a thing that's happening, is that we are in sports anime territory. And if you want your young ladies excited about a thing who are going to try to make it happen and we're going to just kind of go along for the ride anime, if that's what you're missing and you're like, why don't I have that this season? That show is... I'm looking up the name of it. Oh, yeah. Maisetsu, opening act. Because that show is a slice of life about girls that want to be stand-up comedians, and not just any kind of stand-up comedians. They want to be a particular type of stand-up comedy, a comic act, and they're going to work hard to get that one type of to do the one type of comedy they want to do. And make their dreams come true. But that is, I know some people said, like, bold of them not to be funny in their slice of life. And I was like, oh, that is 100% the thing. It's not a comedy show. It should not be categorized as comedy. It is about comedy, but it is a show about comedy, not a comedy. It is, by all accounts, a slice of life where the thing they take seriously, replace that with fishing or camping or board games or whatever, or music or poetry, whatever it is, any of those girls that want to do a thing, slice of lives. And in this case, it's doing duo comedy. Speaking of sports anime slice of life, I tried to check out Gymnastic Samurai. It was pretty good. And I'll definitely give it the full 3. Yeah, that name, I bounced right off that name. One, I hadn't seen any press for it. I didn't see anybody talking about it. And two, the name Gymnastic Samurai really made me go, I don't know if I want to watch this. I think that's a very bad name. Uh, but yeah, I've also said that I do think that an anime that is a slice of life about doing a particular one particular style of stand-up comedy that is not popular in much of the world, and focusing on doing that from the eyes of a group that made it, two different groups that want to make it, and some young girls that are just about to figure out that they also want to do it. Uh, Combined all of that, and it really is an anime that is designed for just me and Jake Young. And I honestly, uh, yeah, because even my comedian friends who love anime, I don't know if they're going to love this, who are comedians and love anime. I have enough sports anime with Haikyuu to the top and climbing anime already. Yes, I can see that, Christian. If you're going to keep both those, like, I'll check out the gymnast one. I don't. It's just the other thing is there's just so much goddamn anime right now. It's beautiful. We live in a golden season where, like, I'm watching two shows that I'm not even talking about to you week to week, uh, because I am watching Haikyuu just for me. I mean, I'll talk about it at the end of the season, but I'm not gonna review every episode because I'm not watching it every week. I'm letting it simmer and then gonna watch a couple in a row. And I'm watching the second season of The Irregular at Magic School, because I don't know. I can't. There's only so many shows I can watch Saturday during the day. I have not started Yashahime. I want to start that. I want to. I do want to check out that. I still haven't seen Burn the Witch because that came out. By the time the subs came out of that, I was about to start streaming, and so I just haven't gone back to it. But I would like to actually watch Burn the Witch. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I'm purposely, because I'm like, meh, I don't know if I'm going to watch this. I haven't watched the third season of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Also, because I think that this one's going to get heavy, and I don't know if that show can handle heavy. I think it can handle the story of a young guy trying to do the right thing and be great in a world that is conspiring against him in many ways, and in other ways is fully supporting his chance to try to be great. But also, this whole thing, like, I don't know how this show is going to handle this whole thing of, like, they met a monster girl that can talk and adopted a monster girl, and some people are going to be very unhappy about that. And what's that going to reference and be about? I don't know. So I don't know if that's going to be worth checking out. All right, so we're going to wrap up the stream for tonight. We finished the head. We finished the chest of this, so we got a good start to it. We got to do the rest of it coming up, obviously. Saturday we'll continue where we left off here. I do want to apologize. It ended up working out, I think, okay. But thank you for watching. We're gonna raid, so I'm gonna find someone for us to raid. Now, unfortunately, last night after the Pokemon stream, which went really well, thanks for everybody that tuned in. I had a blast with that Pokemon stream. We did go and raid Joe Kim, who stopped streaming like almost immediately, which was a real bummer. And then we went and did a raid of he went and raided another person, and that was great. Kind of tired of the whole Bill has to save X girl from X group formula. Yes, Christian, I think it's very formulaic. I think when he had to protect himself, which unfortunately was only a couple episodes, where basically his family was formed, I think that worked a lot better then. And now, a girl we don't know anything about that you have to go and save. Anyway, we got to go raid somebody, and so we will. Let's raid a builder. We never get to raid builders. I have no idea how long. Unfortunately, I have no idea how long we will be able to raid Cam because I don't know how late he's going to stream. But right now, Cam is painting miniatures and for Warhammer, and that rules. And I want to go and hang out. As I said, I have no idea how long he's going to be raiding. But we are going to at least go and hang out with him for a hot minute. So let's get that going. I'm just waiting for this ad to end, this really long ad. So we're at least going to go and raid him. I don't know how long he's going to go, but that'll be cool. So feel free to come along in the raid. I think it'll be fun. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. But let's go see what's going on with Cam. And then I'll see you on the next Build with Baer, which will be on Saturday, where we'll continue the gun easy. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great night. Good night. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.